they're not just grooming your children in their sexual and gender ideology. They're also using CRT to turn them into good little communists.
Turn the microphone off.
Turn off his microphone, please.
A Clay County parent's dispute with his local school board has drawn some national attention after he had his microphone turned off while attempting to read a passage out of a book from the Fleming Island High School library that he considered pornographic.
Action News Jack's Jake Stofan joins us live from Fleming Island High School now. And Jake, you spoke with that parent today.
I did, and that parent, Bruce Friedman, is part of a national group called No Left Turn that chronicles an ongoing list of books that have been objected to by parents contained in public schools throughout the country. Now, Friedman identified at least 3 books in Clay County public schools he wanted pulled from library shelves, including one here at Fleming Island High School. That book is Lucky by Alice Sebold. The book's description on Amazon characterizes it as a memoir of the author who was brutally raped at 18 and chronicles her recovery. Bruce Friedman sees it very differently.
I don't know a good parent that wants their child to read porn.
Friedman took his concerns to the June 30th meeting of the Clay County School Board. When he attempted to read an excerpt from the book, this happened.
Turn off his microphone, please.
And this was the explanation he was given.
There are state laws that prohibit, and federal communications laws that prohibit you from publishing these things to a child.
Ironic, isn't it?
In a statement, a district spokesperson told us, quote, "When addressing the board, since our meetings are televised, we must abide by FCC laws and regulations." The district informed us an official complaint against Lucky has now been filed, and the book has temporarily been pulled from the shelf pending an official review. Friedman is glad the book is gone, but says he should never have had to complain.
Why did I have to be the guy who found it? Why am I doing your job? Your job is to protect our children and educate them and send them home safely on the bus. The end.
Now, incidents like this one have been making the rounds on social media in recent years. They're part of a growing interest in and at times resentment towards local school boards. Now, coming up on Action News Jax at 6 p.m., I'll tell you how Governor Ron DeSantis is getting involved in local school board races here and why some are concerned it could make the nonpartisan races the new political front line. For local coverage you can count on live in Fleming Island, I'm Jake Stofan, Action News Jax.
You know you're in a cult if 1. You believe you are what your imagination says you are. Delusional, characterized by or holding false beliefs or judgments about external reality that are held despite incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, typically as a symptom of a mental condition. You know you're in a cult if 6. You believe reality isn't real. Delusional, characterized by or holding false beliefs or judgments about external reality that are held despite incontrovertible evidence to the contrary, typically as a symptom of a mental condition. You know you're in a cult if 10. Thanks to Jamie Lee Curtis, who didn't know how many Oscars she'd won, them can't count. You know you're in a cult if 11. You will cry in protest to take a real black woman off a syrup bottle and a Quaker off a box of oats named Quaker Oats, only to put a fake white woman on a beer can. All while saying, I can't believe they're so upset over a beer can. Bud Light parent Anheuser-Busch's stock has lost $27 billion over Dylan Mulvaney. You know you're in a cult if 18. Lost your shit over To Kill a Mockingbird and Huckleberry Finn but are screaming about banning books with gay sex and masturbation in school libraries. You know you're in a cult if 20. Will lie even with irrefutable evidence. You know you're in a cult if 21. Being so filled with hate, you will groom, mutilate, and murder your own children, all while calling your opposition fascists. You know you're in a cult if 25. Will refer to a biology book as right-wing propaganda. You know you're in a cult if 26. Will lose your shit if someone actually uses proper English, instead of your made-up pronouns. You know you're in a cult if 32. are the same people who say you can't indoctrinate kids to be gay with a book or a drag show, but continually accuse the church of doing that very thing. Although religion isn't taught in schools, and you're not forced to go to church. You know you're in a cult if 33. When someone is simply talking science and common sense, you will try to bring religion into it. Well, you know the church. Well then, don't go to church. It's not against the law. Not going to school is. You know you're in a cult if 34. Will use unrelated behavior to justify their sick, grooming behavior. You know you're in a cult if 39. Will lose your shit when someone says you're in a woke cult, and to prove you're not, you do the things on this list over and over and over. You know you're in a cult if 40. Will accuse your opposition of that which you are guilty. You know you're in a cult if 46. Consider chemically castrating a pedophile horrible and inhumane, but chemically castrating a child just dandy.